Let us go back to the basics. The basics are that we are talking about exchange. Exchange is as old as human civilization. And yesterday we started with exchange where you played the role of the customer. You looked at what do I give and what do I give. But that exchange extends right through this whole process of creating value for the customer. As you pointed out, producing good fruits and so on is what the producer has to give, and the processor gives back some money in return. And the interesting thing was, even in that analysis, people just didn't look at the producer and the processing. They looked ahead to the consumer. Because what's the most important thing in the business? As you said, in the other side of the board, it's the customer, right? So the processor removes the things that need to be removed, makes it usable, and then it transfers ownership, let's say, to the wholesaler or the transporter. And so the process goes. And the idea here is that each exchange is like a customer and a seller. And each exchange has a give and a get. It ends with the customer, but there are many customers along the way. So the final customer is also the consumer, but the others are customers because they are buying produce, they are buying processed, and they are buying transported fruits and so on. Each is adding value, and so it is a whole chain in which value is being added at each step. We are going to call it a value chain. This is very important if I'm living in a village where I know only my immediate setting. So I know, okay, I'm going to pluck mangoes and I'm going to sell it to this person. So I know that much. Similarly, when we work in Tanzania, the women of the tribal women, they know how to take beads and make them into jewels. But for them, when they learn of a value chain, they realize something is coming from here and it is going to end up over there. That broadens their mind and their thinking about how they can engage in the value chain. So for example, in Tanzania, some of the women we work with, now they are going to the towns to sell their products directly. And they are going and asking, what do you need? Because remember, the customer is the most important. Thinking of a value chain is very natural to me because I've always had education, I've always had resources. But for somebody who's lived in their immediate space, in their immediate social circle with very little resources, with very little exposure, the value chain is an important concept to expand their imagination. In India, in South India, when women told us we used to pluck mangoes, but now we're going to pluck the mangoes, make Indian mango pickle, and then we're going to go to the town to sell it, we say yes. So far you have played the role of a customer, and you've also played the role of a citizen in understanding about the marketplace. But now your role is going to change. But any questions about what we've done so far? We did the shopping exercise, we did the evolution of transportation, we did what's most important for a business, we did value chain. Any questions, any comments? So we are going to do a different type of break, but at the end of the break, you must come back as entrepreneurs. First, what we're going to do is we're going to give you 2 minutes per round. You need to meet somebody from some other table whom you've never met before and introduce yourself. When I say next, you have to go and meet somebody else.